favorite events at Connecticut Main Street Center. We offer it twice a year, and the purpose of this event is to invite communities from across the state to come to a Connecticut Main Street member and learn from them. Learn to see how they do what they do, to be able to ask questions and take back ideas to their communities. And I am so excited that our Fall Spotlight on Main is in Georgetown, Connecticut. You are going to get to learn a lot about a part of town that I actually know because I grew up in Ridgefield. And so I actually get the joke on the swag that Georgetown Village Restoration is selling at their table. But we will get to that in a minute. I am really excited for a series of introductions to start off our day because Spotlight on Main does not happen without a lot of people supporting the effort. So first I want to introduce Richard Wenning, who is the founder of the Granite Church, which is this amazing, beautiful building that we are having the first part of our day in. It's an awesome example of adaptive reuse, of taking this gorgeous church and creating a community gathering place that can activate and catalyze everything that is going on the Main Street. So Rich, if you could offer some
Julia's photo is much better. Clearly, I think it's a decade. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Main Street, for joining today. Indeed, it's a real pleasure to have GVR here. We're members of GVR, and they're just leading the way here in Georgetown and making this place really strong. I'm the executive director of the B Foundation, which purchased this church. We're standing up a brand new nonprofit corporation that launches in October, and our incubation will move to being board members and supporters of this beautiful building built in 1902 as the Gilbert Memorial Church, and Edwin and Elizabeth are watching over us right now and are buried in the back. We are doing an historic
if you want to visit them.
Really quick, I got 3 minutes. And yeah, enjoy the building. This is what we can do in public-private and with nonprofit and for-profit. I have the privilege of chairing economic development in Reading as well. Thank you, Julia, for that. And we're trying to put energy as a nonprofit and a foundation as an investment in this town to help us strengthen all of our for-profit business owners. We've got some amazing businesses opening on Main Street here, and this place with the Gilbert Bennett Wire Mill as well, which Amy and Tommy is going to talk to you about, and all these beautiful photos around us is just going to transform Georgetown over the next decade. So we're so proud to be part of it and to welcome all of you. And with that, I think I'm going to turn this over back to Michelle.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
What was funny is Rich was introducing himself and welcoming. I realized I didn't even say what my name was. I'm Michelle McCabe. I'm the executive director. But this isn't about me. It's about Georgetown, so it doesn't really matter. I'm very excited to welcome you to Georgetown. First Select Woman of Reading, Julia. Crossroads with many towns, but it's Julia's area of expertise here, and so grateful for your partnership with GVR.
Thank you, Michelle, and thank all of you for being here, and yes, thank you, GVR. This group has almost single-handedly been a catalyst for positive change for the development of Main Street, going back to, the 2010 when the streetscape began, and really a lot of GVR effort into getting that done. It wouldn't have happened without them, and I see the gentleman in the back who's largely responsible for that, so thank you. So that's just the beginning, and then, over the last several years, GVRI has been reinvigorated. We see new people, the next generation coming in to really open new businesses and create a downtown that we can all enjoy and be proud of. But it's not just about this area, it's about bringing people from outside of Reading and our section of Georgetown into the area to support our businesses, to see economic growth happen here, and not just in Reading, but also in Branchville and Weston and Wilton, because it is unique. The big question is, what is Georgetown? Is Georgetown a city? It is not, it's a place. Georgetown is a place, and it is the Four Corners. It just so happens that a large part of it sits in Reading. And of course, the wire mill factory is a big component of it. And what we hope for that facility will evolve over the next decade. Right now, we have a lot of federal and state investment in cleanup and visioning. There'll be a big visioning process going on here in the next 2 years for this entire area around the wire mill, including around the granite here. And we're excited to see what that brings. And I know that the work that you're doing with GVR will help inform a lot of that discussion as well. So I know that's all really dry. I wouldn't be a fully rounded speaker here without also mentioning the incredible work that Richard Wenning has done in the back. This church has been empty and unused for so many years, in decline, and the foundation purchased the church, and Richard has, I won't say single-handedly because I know that he will give credit where, to so many people, but what this is becoming, this is on the, just the threshold of becoming, it will be a catalyst for so much good, so much economic development in this town, and I'm thrilled to see what comes out of all of this. And thank you all for coming to see our little piece of Reading, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Unfortunately, our state senator, Cece Mayer, and state rep Ann Hughes were not able to join us today. They are both out of town. But I do want to briefly acknowledge that both Georgetown Village Restoration and the town of Reading have received this citation from the General Assembly, congratulating them on being a host. Main Street, we got one as well, but what's so cool is that we also have the representatives from the surrounding communities who have offered the citation in honor of all the important work that's being done here, so congratulations. As I mentioned, Spotlight on Main can't happen without having the support and sponsorship of key institutions in the community that recognize how important it is that we do economic development and community work. And I am so grateful. Oh my gosh, sorry. I am going to put this down. Obviously, I am squeezing it too hard. Our presenting sponsor, TD Bank, I'm so pleased to welcome Kevin Taylor, who is the Senior Vice President.
Thank you very much, Michelle, and also thanks to the Connecticut Main Street Center for the wonderful work that you guys are doing. It's amazing. It's my pleasure to be here today, and I got to tell you, it's so rich in history. I feel right at home. Community involvement for TD Bank is a way of life, and we're so proud of the many community relationships that we have. The one that we have here with the Georgetown community overall, it's very special for us. And it's a relationship that we've had for 42 years at our branch here at 60 Reading Road. So if you're not sure where that is, you walk out the doors, we are your neighbors, right? And it's very special because it's allowed us to be involved in the community and provide financial services to the community. So over these 42 years, we've had the opportunity of helping folks start a small business, or grow a business, or get their first home, or pay tuition for their kids. So we're really proud of the work that we've done in the community, and we're proud of the support that we continue to get from the community. I'll share a best kept secret about TD Bank with you. So TD Bank is, it's a large bank today. We're the #8 largest bank in the United States today. But you may not know this, because intentionally, we have a small town feel about us, a community bank feel about us. One of the few banks that is still highly invested in the community, that really go around and knock on doors and really want to integrate ourselves in the community. So we do have the scale and the resources of all our large banks, but again, we intentionally make ourselves very small so we can continue to have the community feel. So I want to thank everyone for their support. Activities like this is really what TD Bank is grounded in. So you can look for us throughout the community to continue to be a part of Georgetown Day. I was just telling these ladies that we absolutely love Georgetown Day. We always be a part of it, right? But now we've found another wonderful group that we continue to work with. And so I want to thank you for your support and keep up the good work, and we look forward to a great partnership. Thank you very much.
Connecticut Economic Development Association is an incredible group that supports the economic development community across the state. I am a proud board member of CEDAS, and Connecticut Main Street is a, oh, for the love of Pete, what is this is sort of it's on brand for the day today. And CEDAS is a proud partner of our Spotlight on Main events. We're always so excited to have them doing this important work with us. And I'm thrilled to introduce Paige Bronk, who is the president of CEDAS.
We'll stand out of the light or try. Anyway, thank you so much for holding the event today. As stated, my name is Paige Bronk, president of CEDAS. We've been a long-standing partner with Connecticut Main Street Center for many years, and it's discussed often within our board, our retreats, and our overall planning. As Michelle mentioned, she is a board member of CEDAS, and that actually really solidifies that connection between this organization and CEDAS. Main Street programming is clearly a part of economic development nationwide, but also within Connecticut. A little bit about CEDAS, and I won't take too much time. We are, or at least we view ourselves as the premier nonprofit economic development organization in the state. And I select those words carefully because really it's our passion that drives us. We don't have staff. We are basically driven entirely by volunteers, except for a small agreement, contract we have with CCM that provides some administrative services. But all of the energy, everything and the time that we put in is basically a result of donation, time, efforts by our board members and also our volunteers. We have over 240 members, which we're quite proud of. And that representation covers not only municipal, but state, regional, federal, private, nonprofit, academic as well. So we really have great diversity in trying to put forward what we like to do. What do? I think we pride ourselves in our networking, problem solving, bringing people together, advocacy where needed. We are really trying to ramp up some of our public policy initiatives. And yes, Michelle is involved in that as well. Thank you very much. But I think it's bringing everyone together from their diverse perspectives in trying to focus our passion to advance economic development statewide. That's what CEDAS is all about. Last plug I will make, we have our annual meeting. It's the single largest event we have every year. It will be October 23rd. It will be held at the Wyndham Golf Course, and I see in the back we have Jim Milano from Wyndham. We would encourage you to attend. It's a fun event, and if you're interested, please come to our website, cedas.org. You'll find the opportunity to register. We'd welcome your attendance. Thank you again.
Thank you. Something's going, it's the ghost. It's the two that are watching us. And also we want to thank Fairfield County Bank for their support of the day today. Pop-up bagels, which are delicious, as are donuts. And of course, I want to say thank you to our Connecticut Main Street staff. We put a lot of love and effort into this event. We have, I'm just going to quickly wave to everybody. Savannah Blance, Christine Schilke, Judith Stahl, Carl Rosa, and Kennedy Winslow. Good job, everyone. All right. So, for those of you who do not know who we are, Connecticut Main Street Center, we're a statewide nonprofit, and we're a coordinating program of Main Street America, which is important because we are here to help we are here to help our communities with their Main Street management. Because to have a thriving downtown, it requires a champion, a person, an entity. Sometimes it's a paid professional, but oftentimes it is a group of volunteers, and today you're going to see what an amazing group of volunteers can do, who are there keeping their eyes on Main Street, and we're here to help them with that work, making sure that their streetscape is beautiful, is easy to navigate, making sure that they have great promotional events to bring people to Main Street, making sure that their buildings are in good shape and they're occupied. All of those things are important, and all of those things require a champion. And so, like I said, we have member communities that are across Connecticut. We offer education and training and technical assistance. We do events like this, webinars, all to help these communities create, revitalize, and manage their Main Streets. And as I mentioned, even with a group of volunteers, this work can get done. And so excited that we are here in Georgetown. You are going to hear a presentation today by Georgetown Village Restoration, and talking about all of the work that they and their stakeholders and their partners have done, a nonprofit comprised of volunteers, that when you go on your tour, you are going to see all of the amazing work that they have done. Yay! One of the accomplishments that GVR has had is we, as an organization, launched a new program called Main Street Accelerator, for the love of Pete again. Thank you, Kennedy. Main Street Accelerator last year. It was our first time doing it, and we had seen in communities that because Main Street is a team challenge, because we're working with communities that don't have necessarily one organization that's all Main Street with a paid executive director, etc., we launched this 6-month program that has curriculum, peer learning, coaching calls with Carl, Mr. Main Street, our field services director, all to help teams from communities across the state to be able to come to us with a project and work together to create a project plan that, if they're successful and they check all the boxes, then they are eligible for a grant from Connecticut Main Street to realize their project. And GVR is in our freshman class of this program, and they knocked it out of the park. You've never seen... to them today their grant, their check for where they can deposit it in TD Bank. Their good luck putting that in the ATM. But it'll be fine. And congratulations to them. They are going to be telling us more about their project with their presentation. So, with no further ado, I'm very excited to invite Kate Perry, Lisa Devine, and Amy Atavian, close, to come to the front and to tell us all about the amazing work that they're doing in Georgetown. Good luck, guys. I'm sure it'll be great.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa Devine. I'm part of Georgetown Village Restoration.
I'm Kate Perry. I'm a secretary on the board. I'm also on the board. Yeah. Vice president. Yeah. And yes. I'm Amy Atami, and I chair the Gilbert Bennett Wire Mill Advisory Committee.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to cover today. We want to welcome you to Georgetown. We're going to talk about where it is, our participation in the Accelerator program, because that was a big part of our momentum. And then we'll talk about the Wire Mill redevelopment, because I'm sure a lot of people have questions about that. And then we'll hopefully have some time for a questions and answer session. Okay, so you all made it here, but the number one question we always get is, where is Georgetown? Even I work in Norwalk, people don't know where Georgetown is. So I have to explain to them. Georgetown is at the four corners of the towns of Wilton, Reading, Weston, and Ridgefield. Thank you. It's an ideal location in Fairfield County. We're right on the Metro North. We're right off of Route 7. Really couldn't be better placed. So the town, Georgetown, was founded around the wire mill outside, but it quickly, came into its own. And
with the wire mill, basically all the workers needed a village, needed a post office, needed a fire department, and so Georgetown was created around that. That's when it was born.
So it's relatively small. Got a little population of a little over 1,800. We're at a really interesting crossroads right now because we have a lot of young families moving in and blended with the old-time Georgetowners, the ones that have been here, that are fixtures. So we're at a very interesting point in time for Georgetown.
Sure. So GVR, we're a 501c3. GVR stands for Georgetown Village Restoration, Inc. At the top is our mission statement, and it was founded in 1999. One of the founders is back there, Ralph. And probably one of the more significant things is that we are all volunteer. We don't have any paid staff. We have the support of the town and we work closely with the town, but we are all volunteers. So, of course, what comes with that is challenges, bandwidth, time, all that good stuff. But we all work hard and do what we can. Our main thing is, and sorry if I'm jumping ahead, is we host Georgetown Day. So that's sort of where the organization started, between Georgetown Day and advocating for a sewage treatment plant here, which allowed for Georgetown to grow since the late 90s.
So in addition to Georgetown Day, which is pretty much what everyone knows us for, we take we do other ways to take action. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that right there. As you guys can see on your name tags, there's this beautiful mural, and you probably passed it on the way out. That was done by a local mural artist, Kristen Toronto Hollis, and that was a collaboration between GVR and the mural artist. We also have a self-guided walking tour, which is in your folders. We were able to get that off the ground as well. We have these beautiful signs. There's one up the road here. We have one at the corner. We worked with the state of Connecticut to find a good place for them, which was challenging, but we did it. We worked with the state, we got it. And we have a little free little library, which we're going to cast a location. It's actually not installed right now because it got taken out by the flood that came through in August. So we'll talk about that on our tour as well. And then, yeah, is there anything else you want to touch on? Yeah.
Oh, it switched for you.
Wow, that's kind of crazy. All right. So, as we've been talking about, we are freshmen of the class of the Accelerator program, and we want to talk to you a little bit. Oh, we got it on. Doing anything. We want to talk to you about what we focused on. So we applied and we were able to get in with our project. We were trying to improve brand identity. Obviously, the question is, where's Georgetown? What is it? So we wanted to address address that through independent Georgetown merchandise. We normally have merchandise for a Georgetown Day, and that's for a specific day. But we wanted to broaden it to create an identity.
Get people excited about Georgetown, really like play up the brand, make it, I mean, to me, Georgetown has always been cool, but bring back some retro feels to it, make people excited about it, that sort of thing, and also hopefully get people wearing things around town so that they see Georgetown is represented.
So we learned a lot over the 6 months. Every month there was a new module that we had to focus on. Our biggest takeaways here, I think, We're creating inventories, so we now have inventories of all the businesses on the block, all the properties, status of them, so there's a quick, easy way to reference all of that material. We were able to identify our stakeholders and really hone in. Usually that's a conversation that we have, but we really got in the weeds and started to think about why. Improving volunteer opportunities. So one of the things we focus with, and I'm sure any of you on volunteer organizations know, that it's usually the same people doing things over and over again. And we really wanted to try to open that up to everybody else. And that links with sustainability, really. We don't want to get burnt out.
I would have to say the Accelerator program was an amazing opportunity that we're really grateful that we were able to take advantage of. Even though we were volunteers, we're happy that we committed the time. Connecticut Main Street Center really is this great supportive organization, and they were there for us like throughout the entire thing, questions, feedback, all that good stuff. So I'm really grateful. It was 6 months, it was work, it definitely was work, but we learned so much that I think will carry us through the next couple of years and beyond. Oh, I guess I skipped ahead.
No, so, yeah, it's other takeaways. It really created an efficient way of working. So we were able to budget, with this project, we wanted to make sure we spent our money wisely and had a clear idea of how we were spending our money. So we decided to go with a small order and see what moves quickly, and then we can change from there if we needed to. Action planning, making sure we identify different people within the committee to execute on different items of our plan. Running effective meetings and keeping data. We're now keeping track of our volunteer hours, and that's thanks to Connecticut Main Street. We never really thought to do that, but we are now doing that, and it's been really helpful. People are, we get to really see our impact, yeah.
And then we have the information if we wanted to apply for grants that ask for that sort of thing, and we're not scrambling to estimate. Like, we're definitely able to see our reach by looking at those numbers.
Yeah, and we will have continued support from Connecticut Main Street, which is amazing. We are members, but we get check-ins with Mr. Main Street, which has been amazing. Coaching, and any webinars that are available to us through membership. So, yeah, that was our Accelerator experience.
So the Gilbert Bennett Advisory Committee was formed by the Board of Selectmen about 2 years ago, shortly after the town acquired the Wire Mill site next door. And we're also a volunteer organization. We're made up of all the members of the Land Use Commissions, the Board of Finance, and some community members. And I'll point out, Rob Dean is here. He's on the Board of Finance, but not only that, he's been on the Planning Commission for a number of years, and is a practicing architect, and also goes back with the history of this site. So he's such an asset for us to have that history of prior development efforts that have occurred in the past. So when we formed, we primarily were focused, we'll get there, we're primarily focused on, that's the one. On me. Yeah, on the environmental investigations that we have to do for the site in order to do any kind of redevelopment. But as we were going through that, we realized we really need to set some goals and milestones, and what would that really look like? We're looking at the mill, but it's such an important part of the context of this town, of the Georgetown area. So, and they need to be tied together. They can't just be independently developed. And there's synergy between the town and the wire mill. So we wanted to identify some goals that we could accomplish at the wire mill that would encompass the town as well. And we identified that, let's see, 1989 was when the mill closed, so if we could target 2029 for some activities to allow people to get back on the site in some manner and some renovation of the site, then that will help the town with Main Street, as well as envisioning what could happen on the Wire Mill site. So we're targeting 2029 as the 40th anniversary of the site to implement some activity that can encompass the site as well as the town. We wanted to provide some public access to allow people to envision what could be the future of this interesting and beautiful site. There's some great photographs in this room from the Wire Mill site, and that's one of the most beautiful buildings, I think, on the site is the Sawtooth Building. So, as we're moving through the second year, since we've identified these goals, we applied for a number of grants. We applied for a cleanup grant through the US EPA, which will be kicking off next week. Julie will be going up to that. We applied for and received a DECD Brownfield Area Revitalization Grant, which I think for Main Street is absolutely the most important grant, because that's a planning grant that'll help us really set a vision for the whole area, the wire mill and how it integrates in with the rest of Main Street. So that could help us guide zoning changes that may need to occur, help us out and make sure that we allocate appropriate sewer capacity for the village to develop and grow. Those are absolutely, that's the key grant in my view that we're going to be starting on in the next couple of months. And then we're waiting for a grant from the State Historic Preservation Office, which would help us assess the condition of buildings on the site. There's some, we're concerned about the stability and the condition of the buildings. We want to make sure that we can start moving forward on any sustainability and security of those buildings so that they don't further deteriorate. And Trout Unlimited is planning to do a study of the whole Norwalk River up from Wilton through a couple of series of dams, including the dam at this site, to evaluate should this dam come down, should it stay, what kind of condition it's in. So there are some interesting opportunities with that could lead to a park, perhaps where the pond is, flood control that might help issues in downtown on Main Street. So those are the exciting things that we're really looking forward to in the next year or so.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you so much. And we'll talk a little bit more about the wire mill on our tours, touch on that. So these are a few other things that are going to come out of the bar grant, that good stuff. But yeah, thank you. We are full steam ahead.
We're full steam ahead. So talking about nonprofits, what works for us is partnerships with other organizations. Connecticut Main Street is definitely one, the EDC, the Wire Mill, the towns. Having that partnership and making sure we're all on the same page is super helpful and really directs us on what we should be focusing on. Mutual understanding that comes with that, and aligned goals. So as Amy had mentioned, the bar planning is it's essential for not just planning the wire mill, but all of Georgetown, right? So challenges that we have our eyes on. We have a Gilbert and Bennett School right at the corner of 7th and School Street, and there's a possibility we could lose a historic piece of Georgetown. So
That's with the town of Wilton, not Reading.
Yes.
So that's where there are pieces of Georgetown that are in different towns, which can also be a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. We need to kind of orchestrate all the towns together. Yeah, teamwork, right? That's and sustainability, obviously, and having more people involved. So that's really all we have. So.
Thank you. So you are going to have the pleasure of actually seeing all of the things that we spoke about today, and you're going to be amazed because Georgetown is so lucky to have all of these amazing assets all clustered in this one easy, walkable area. And I don't know about you all, if you're a mill nerd, board, which I am and most of you are, because this is a room full of economic development people and nerds, and I say that with love, because nerds are awesome. You are going to lose your minds when you see this building. It is really, really cool. So, before we head out, we are opening the floor to some Q&A. We're especially excited if we have many visitors. Those of you who are from Georgetown here today, you have a ton of visitors today that have come from really far away to see what you're doing here. So we want to give sort of a first crack to our visitors. Yes.
Hi, I'm Betsy Painter. I'm with Weston Connecticut Council of Governments. When is Georgetown Day?
Oh, Georgetown Day, we try to keep things high level. It's the second Sunday of every June. We just missed 1 year for COVID. But yeah, so it's the second Sunday of every June, and we estimate that about 5,000 people come through here. It's free to attend. It's all thanks to our sponsors. We've got, like 80 vendors, live music, beer tent, all that fun stuff. And it's a really, really special event. So we're lucky that that kind of sets the tone in Georgetown. We're very fortunate to have it.
I live on downtown Main Street, off Main Street in Westport, Connecticut. We love Georgetown, but I'm asking this question actually. Robert, how many people live in the downtown area you're looking to expand that to, right? You're looking to have more people live in the downtown area.
We have some apartment buildings. We're gonna pass by 8 Main Street. I don't have an exact number of people.
Technically, well, including Reading Woods. It's hard, like, what you define Georgetown and, like, the Main Street area. I wouldn't say that we're necessarily looking to expand. I think part of the wire mill redevelopment when it happens could and maybe will include some housing, but I know that's also being carefully thought about, impacts on traffic, school systems, all that good stuff.
There's lovely residential areas in the
I
surrounding.
mean, the outside, like, there's also.
Yeah, so there's Main Street, and then there's right around it, and then there's like a bigger portion of it, so.
But I figure that you probably have a lot of people walking the downtown.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Like this gal,
I'm walking every single day.
Me too.
And
At the same time, has it been easy for you guys to get sidewalks and
No.
that?
we're going to discuss on our walking tour some of the challenges we're facing right now in terms of sidewalk and having two state roads divide
That's
a
weird.
community. Yeah, right.
That's
You know. So.
Yeah, that is going to be a future Main Street topic, Connecticut Main Street topic, because so many of you are in communities with the state road running right through it.
Yeah,
That is
I have
such.
this road right in front of my.
I wish I could say to you, Sal, that you were alone in that, but it is crazy how most of our towns are built like that. So we're, looking forward to having a deep dive into that.
I will mention, I said this to Carl earlier, Kate and I were able to meet with Chief O'Donnell of Reading because we wanted to put forward a traffic safety audit grant. Is that?
Yeah, that's.
As recommended.
You've done that. I know.
We're in the middle of it right now.
Yes, so we did the application with Chief O'Donnell, who's going to submit it, just because it's.
And as stakeholders, you get to speak at it too. You ask for
Yeah,
that one.
we'd like to attend to it and be there, so, thank you.
Yes, Lori.
Glory Norwood and Ridgefield Economic Development. Do you have a marketing campaign for Georgetown, and if so, how do you fund it, and how do you fund things like Georgetown Day?
So Georgetown Day, that's an easy one. It's funded by sponsors, and there is some income from vendors. That's the extent of it. So we rely on our sponsors in order to keep it a free to attend event. Marketing wise, right now we have our merchandise budget. That's a big part of our marketing right now. That was like our big push.
Social media, we have a
Great gal who does our social media as a volunteer. Like without her, we would have zero presence because she's just on it. That's probably kind of the extent. We really try to be careful in what we take on because we don't want to start things and then we can't see it through. So some might say, like me in particular, I'm a little bit too conservative and I need to get led to do things and told to stop fighting. Not fighting, but just doubting. So we're just really careful. So we kind of just do it organically and bite it off where we can, and that was definitely where the merch came in. The merch was really seamless to sell at Georgetown Day.
So we have a built-in event where we can sell it and promote it, and then Lisa did all this work to put it on our website. So
Did you try to put it in any local stores, like the milestone?
we're working on it.
We're gonna pick a few stores, but again, it's sustainability. We don't want to grow too quickly, and the volunteers, we just put it on the website, which I'm the fulfillment person. It's been a lot of work, but we've had people as far as Oxford ordering here from us, so it is reaching out there.
Does that help with your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sierra. Hi, Sarah Patrick, City Environment and Economic Development. I'm curious of understanding a little bit more about the relationship that you have with your municipality and your DC. You're talking about the sorts of partnerships, maybe how you guys develop those relationships to do the projects that you're doing.
Yeah, with the town or in specific, or any partnerships?
Maybe town specific, but
Yeah. So we work closely with the town. Certainly we can't get things done without a partnership for them. And that stretches all the way back to the start of GVR when business owners got together to advocate for a sewage treatment plant. Because at that point there were like cesspools, sorry, but and something needed to be done so that the Main Street could actually like safely grow. So GVR started out there where it was working towards getting this plant so that it could be an actual commercial district. So all the way up to now we work closely with the Wire Mill Committee. We have a member, one of our GVR members is on there. And so he's working on things like parking. So we have that relationship, and we do what we can. Again, we're very careful with our bandwidth, but we've written letters of recommendations for grants and that sort of thing, like as a stakeholder. I feel like but we talk to, we have a relationship with the highway department. When there are things that need to happen, we're in close contact with the first select woman. So we just try to keep those lines of communication open and team up where we can.
Yeah, I mean, it gets a little tricky. Like, we definitely had a learning experience when we were installing the signs, which we had to coordinate with the state, and we had a contact there. One of the signs is on Weston, in Weston, and we totally we had approval from Reading to put the sign up. We weren't thinking this sign was going to be in a different town, and it was installed, and then they were like, you didn't go through the police commission, and we're like, so
they were very nice. They were very nice about it, but we still had to go through the motions.
But we had to, it's those partnerships, and that's a little bit difficult with 4 towns trying to get everyone together, but.
It can work though.
It can work. It can definitely work.
And I would say that's actually one place where we should and have discussed trying to strengthen is not just having a great relationship with the town of Reading, but also Wilton, Ridgefield, and Weston. And that's definitely on our radar. It's just the commercial district of Georgetown is in Reading, so that's sort of where our focus ends up being.
I don't have a question, I just wanted to compliment you. You said, back to the marketing, you said you were a little conservative, and it kind of resonated with me. A nonprofit, they throw a lot of ideas out, right? And ideas are easy, that's 1% of the effort. Getting it done is 99% of the effort. So I think it is important to not necessarily take something on until you're ready. And if you're going to take it on, you have a sustainable path forward. As a volunteer organization, I think you have to wrestle with that. So I think your approach is sound.
So one thing that I feel like in the past couple of years we've gotten good at saying is we want members, we want ideas, but what we find ourselves saying is that's a great idea that you just had, can you spearhead it?
Yeah.
If you can, we're behind you 100% for your proposal stage, brainstorming, all that sort of thing. If you can't spearhead it, we're going to put it on our list, and if it resonates with other people and somebody else can spearhead it, great. But there are so many ideas that get thrown at us that are amazing ideas, like fantastic ideas, but there's only so much that we can take on. So we really try to push our members to brainstorm, but also brainstorm ideas that they would want to work on. Because there's just no way we could never ever do, I have like a bazillion ideas that I can't even execute on my own. So, you know, we love hearing the ideas, but we also need people who are like ready to act.
So, speaking of acting, I know, but we have to get a move on our tours. The good news is, number one, questions will be asked and answered on the tours. And number two, after the tour, we will be meeting at Milestone, which is up the hill, for a post-walking tour, beverage and snacks and chatting. So there'll be plenty of time. So if you look on your name tags on the front, let me look on my
Lower left.
lower left corner of the front of your name tag, there is a number. And that is your walking group tour number. So everyone stay seated. Because this is how we're going to do it. All right. When I call your number, you will get up and follow your tour leader out the door. So, who has number one? You may stand up and who's number one tour guide? Nick. Nick, if you could stand over there. Everybody, that's Nick on group number one. Please follow him outside the building. And thank you.